Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you.
Good. My favorite. I feel like your energy is just so. I love it. I love it. Tell us a bit about yourself before we get started. You know what you do, and then we'll get into the interview.
So a bit about me. I'm a hairdresser based in central London, and I'm also a hair educator for Mayel Organics and for Redkin as well.
And how did you get into hair? Because I know your story. I love it because I feel like you now work in a beautiful salon in Soho, right? But you also like started hair very young. And so what was your journey like? Like tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I started doing hair when I was about 12, 13. Literally just in the estate where I grew up.
Wow.
We'll be sitting in the block of flats.
Where was that? What part of London?
That was in northwest London.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll just be having a pen and just parting hair and doing
pen.
cornrows and braids.
Yeah. I love that.
And yeah, started from there. And then I slowly progressed and built up more clients until I realised, like, hey, this is actually a business.
Yeah.
Get some monies out of this.
Amazing. And you've always loved it? Like you always wanted to do it?
Always. At first it was a necessity because the amount of hair I had on my head when I was a child, my mum would give me like 3 cornrows and that was it. So it was a part of getting to understand my own hair type and then building from there in terms of building clientele. But I wanted to make sure I wasn't just trying things just for the sake of it. I wanted to learn how to do all different hair textures so that no matter who comes into my chair in the salon, I'd be able to cater to them.
Amazing. And let's get into the business of hair because obviously this is why we're here. It's really to shine a light on like how your business works because you've done so much in your career. You've been on TV. You're a brand ambassador for like many brands. So we want to just get into like how you achieve that, right? So first of all, like how many income streams do you have in your business, in your hairstyling business?
In the colour hair styling business, there is we'll say 3.
Okay.
The salon, Mayel, and Redkin.
Nice.
There are other extra little trickles of streams, little rivers that I go in, but the main ones are those 3.
Amazing. And when you say Mayel and Redkin, you're brand ambassadors for both brands, right?
Yes.
And I think the beauty of that is that because they're different brands, like Redkin is a colour brand and Mayel is a curly, coily hair brand, you're able to do both, right?
Exactly that.
So you're able to make more money. I like that. That's good. And then, of course, you have your regular kind of hairstyling services that you offer and in salon.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
So the events I do, or the work that I do with both brands, I'm still trickling and funneling in the traffic of clients that I meet to the salon in my chair.
And that's a big deal. Like getting a brand ambassadorship from 2 of the biggest brands in the industry. How did you go about that? Like, how did you get that?
Well, I just have to thank God, honestly. Like, I've always been taught to never say no when an opportunity comes your way, as long as it's in alignment with your journey and your mission. And when Redkin approached me during lockdown, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm already promoting you anyway, so you pay me to do so.
But I think that's the thing, right? You're already promoting it. That's probably how you got it. So it's kind of like, and I think with you, like the way you present yourself online is very much like you are a brand yourself. So as a brand owner, I can see someone wanting to be aligned with you, right? And I think if we're giving like advice for someone that's looking to do that, it's kind of like if you use products already, like why not promote them and see if actually someone might want you to be an ambassador for their brand.
Absolutely.
So I like the fact that you said you were already promoting their products. They probably thought this is a perfect fit. Like she's already doing it, right? So I really love that. I think it was very organic, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I tend to only work with brands that I believe in terms of their ethos and the products that they actually formulate as well.
Yeah. And Mayel is a great example of that because their products are incredible. You know, and Mayel's similar story. They approached you. They wanted you to be a brand ambassador. Was that the same case?
Absolutely. Before I was with Mayel, I was with various other brands.
Yeah.
And when they reached out to me and I read more about the history of the brand, started founded by a black woman
In her kitchen.
in her kitchen,
Oh God, I love
making
it.
products for her kids. I was like, that just warmed my heart.
Yeah.
In the 10 years I've been doing hair education, I haven't been able to work for a black owned hair care brand.
That's
so
amazing.
it gives me tingles every time.
Oh,
It
I
does.
love that. That's amazing. And I think, okay, let's talk about also like some of your big achievements, right? So what would you say in your career has been like your biggest achievement, and how did you get there?
Biggest achievement. Can it be two? Can I have
Of course
two?
you can. You can have 3 if you want. Amazing.
For me, one of the biggest achievements, and always is one of the most humbling,
Mm.
was when a brand took me to Nigeria to do a hair course in 2 different cities, one in Abuja and one in Lagos.
Wow.
And the auditorium was filled with people. You could hear a pin drop because everyone travelled from everywhere just to learn, just to get a little bit of extra knowledge of how to properly look after textured hair.
Wow.
And that just warmed me. The second achievement, which I'm like, wow,
I know what
like,
it is.
like, God, you're just showing off.
Mm-hmm.
Was becoming a finalist on the E4 Big Blowout TV show.
That's huge, by the way.
Wow.
That's huge, because I think also like on TV you don't really see Afro hair being represented in that light.
Absolutely.
And so like you coming on there with like your fro and just being like unapologetic, I think that was a big moment on TV for just to represent like, you know, our hair, our texture. So yeah, how did that come about? Let's talk about how it came about, and then also the show, because we want to get into that. But how did that come about?
It came about, I had a message on Instagram from the production team.
So people will really be reaching out to you. That means your brand presence online is incredible.
Well, I try, you know, I try not to focus on the numbers of, you know, followers and likes and stuff, but just try and stay organic and authentic.
Quality of the content as well.
Yeah. So they slid in the DMs, and I thought it was spam. I thought it was fake, so I ignored it.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, they messaged again and said, hello.
You want to be on TV or nah?
And I thought, yeah, why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
Give it a try. If it doesn't work, you know, just go home.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
And I got through each process, and I was like, okay, all right, we're getting through. All right. And I wanted to make sure that the Claire brand spoke through. And this is where the birth of Black and Orange came about.
Your brand.
The brand. In the summer, it's, you know, a bit of white and orange, but Black and Orange is the brand colours, because I thought we need to be showing off energy, you know, fun, and abundance as well. This is what the colour orange signifies for me.
But do you know how iconic it is that you as a brand, as a person, have like a colour that you associate with? I think that's really, really cool, because again, when I think of Black and Orange, I think of you. And if you're coming on the show every day, you want people to have an association with you. So the fact that you thought, you know, let me wear these colours, this is me now, I think that's quite cool.
Thank you. Yes.
And I think obviously talking about what you've achieved, amazing stuff, but we all have low points, right?
Absolutely.
Like I know, you know, I've had some in business, I'm sure you've had some in your career. Like what would you say like was one of the biggest challenges that you went through as a hairstylist, obviously, and a business owner as well?
Biggest challenge. Can I have 2?
You really wanted 2? Okay, two.
One was when I went for a deep tissue massage, and my tendons played up and my hand closed up, and the masseuse had to pry my hand open, and I couldn't work for a week. The doctors told me I would have to have surgery on it, and I wouldn't be able to work for 3 to 6 months. And I thought, is this the end? You know, my hands are insured, but you know, that's for irreversible damage. So I thought that was the end, but yeah, it got better.
Sorry, can we just go back to my hands are insured? I just want to unpack that a bit. I just realised what you said.
Yeah.
I know obviously you have like, there's like small business insurance, but does that actually include like physical like parts of your body, like your hands? Obviously that's how you make your money, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, when you said that, I was like, wait.
No, honestly, because as a self-employed or freelance hairstylist, you have to have your own liability insurance.
Yeah.
And I pay a bit extra for my hands, because if these are the money,
they are the money makers. Yeah.
If anything happens to these, then I can't work. So
okay,
just pay extra £10 onto the cover plan, and
Include your hands.
Include your hands.
I hear that. I hear it.
If J-Lo can insure her ass, I can insure my hands.
Wait, huh?
J-Lo's ass is insured. Sorry, J-Lo. You got there somewhere. Yeah.
Amazing. But yeah, sorry, let's go back. So you were saying?
Yes. The hand, thought it was all over, but it healed. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
The second thing that happened, which...
How long did it take to heal, actually?
Well, I could only take off a week. Self-employed. You only take a day off if you are really at death's door. If you can still function somehow, then you're gonna drag your ass to work and get that monies. So after a week, I was back to work.
Okay, fine.
It was still a bit dodge, but
you were back. Yeah.
As women, we get through.
Yeah.
The second thing that happened, where I thought this is make or break, was last year, August. I was gonna go to work and noticed everything had closed down.
What?
The salon had closed. They had emptied all the shelves. Good thing I still had my key. I was able to get in and take all of my stuff out and reschedule all my clients. And funny enough how the world works, the salon I'm in now in Soho, they had reached out to me like a month prior. And I was playing hard to get, like, I'm okay, I'm alright. But then when that happened, I was like, yeah, you still got that space? Can I come through? Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
What?
And I had to move all my clients.
So, wait, hold on. They didn't tell you that the space had closed?
No.
Wow.
It was like spider senses were tingling inside, like something is wrong. Clients were trying to book online and they were messaging me on Instagram saying, hey Claire, I'm trying to book in, it's not working. So I tried to call management, no response. I tried to book in on the system myself, no response. So I was like, I'm going down
right
there. Yeah, I'm going down there. If ever like I get a feeling of something's not right, you have to act on it. So I went down and the salon was closed and I thought my whole world had been crushed.
Turned upside down.
Yeah. After 5 years of being with the company.
They just thought they didn't even have to have the decency to tell you, at least.
It felt like a really bad breakup.
Oh my gosh.
From a relationship.
But you know what? It's the fact that something was already there. So I'm guessing that transition was although it was quite traumatic, like that transition was smooth, right?
It was as smooth as it could be. And I'm just thankful for the way, like, I know I keep referring back to God, right? But sometimes things are seen in the future before we're able to see them, So just got to be ready. Just got to ride the wave, hold on to that surfboard because the next tide is going to come. Yeah.
I love that. And I think even talking about moving to Soho, I know the current salon you're in is incredible, such a beautiful space. And they do a lot for you in the salon. Like they provide you with assistants, they have an online booking system, all of that good stuff. I guess my question is, like, as an individual brand, as a stylist, like, what else do you do to bring in clients of your own, if that makes sense? What other marketing strategies do you have to kind of attract the right clients?
Social media is definitely the foremost in terms of bringing in new clients.
Yeah.
And Reels in particular.
Okay.
Because Reels on Instagram, it attracts new clients, whereas posts, they attract, or they get filtered to people that already follow you already. So being really heavy with the Reels is definitely important. But a really small tactic I do is after a hair color service with the client, I take the pictures, but then I airdrop it to them.
Okay.
So then they can then show it off on their Instagram page and they'll tag me in and then their friends and family will see and then they will start following me and then they'll be like, oh, I see you did Sandra's hair. Can I come in for a consultation?
Okay.
Of course you can, come through. So we keep that loop on the inside because the most valued recommendation that we take is from our friends and family.
Word of
people
mouth.
be around.
Especially when it comes to textured hair, whether it's like braids or whatever, like, I'm not going to anyone that nobody has been to, because it's really like, we've all had traumatic experiences with our hair. It's such an important thing, right?
Yeah.
So I understand, like, and using that to your advantage, like, that word of mouth is key. So you're going to take the most amazing pictures and then send it to them so that they can post it. Because they probably will take pictures themselves, but what you're doing is, like, you're actually controlling the quality. And then making sure that they share it. I love that. Yes. And that's a good tactic. And I think also in terms of your content, right? What kind of content do you put out? Because I think a lot of stylists are very stuck in the before and after. Like create a style and then post it, create a style and post it. How can you diversify your content as a stylist?
For myself, the strategies that I try to adapt are, yes, utilizing the posts on your feed to show stills of before and afters, and then using the reels to show the full transformations, the befores, the durings, the ASMRs, the shampooing of the hair, squeezing out product of the hair, as well as celebrating the after. And in between that, I will have a post that will be some sort of activity that I'm doing.
Okay.
So whether like today, or I don't know, teaching a class at L'Oreal.
Yeah.
So each post will be a hair post, an activity post, a hair post, activity post.
The formula, hair post, activity. And it breaks it up. I think that's what I want stylists to realize, is that you have to break up your content. You cannot post hair post, hair post, hair post, hair post. Because actually a stylist was speaking to me. She was like, my engagement is so low. And she's like one of the most, she's so talented.
Yeah.
I was like, as talented as you are, like, people can't see the same thing, right? You keep seeing the same thing. Yes, the style is beautiful, but what about you? Who are you?
Yeah, people want to see you.
People want to see your face. They want to know who you are.
Yeah.
Even if they don't see your face, they want to hear your voice. They want to know what you're doing behind the scenes. And I think I love that you touched on that, because I feel like you do that really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to show potential clients out there how we are, because when we're doing like braiding or colouring services, it's a long amount of time you've got to spend together.
It is.
So I got to know that even your voice ain't going to irritate me, or like, you know, that you are actually professional as a customer. So us showing ourselves on camera, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, amazing. And going into, I guess, as you said, like, doing someone's hair, spending that much time with them, especially textured hair, which takes a long time. Just in general, what would you say are some of like the cultural tensions in the textured Afro black hair industry at the moment?
At the moment, within the hairdresser to hairdresser situation, I love that you're calling it a situation.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I do have some stylists ask me, because I train other European stylists how to work with textured hair, they ask me, you know, am I not afraid that they're going to take all the customers and, you know, we're going to be replaced? I'm like, no, there's enough heads out there for everybody.
I hear it.
There is. And if anything, we can use it as a ignition to help us to be more professional as an Afro hair industry in terms of our customer service and our customer experience. Because the majority of the European salons, they have got the customer service and the client experience down to a T.
They do. They do, exactly.
So it's just going to be
sharing of knowledge and skills and an exchange, right? Not like taking from another.
As a stylist, if you're not trying to upskill in textured hair, then you might become unstuck very quickly, because I've met Karens or Susans that have tight 4C hair types, and I'm like, what is going on? And they are of European descent.
Okay.
So, you know, in terms of your hair texture, you can be Korean and have hair like wool. So it's about focusing on the hair and being able to cater to everybody.
To everyone. Amazing. Well, Claire, it's actually been incredible speaking to you. I do have something I want to ask.
Yeah.
So if you had one piece of advice for self-employed hairstylists, what would it be?
The main advice I would give freelance or stylists that are working independently is to do your taxes. Don't let it filter until the end of the year. Each month, at the end of the month, use your Microsoft Excel spreadsheet and accolade all of your expenses, all of your incomes and outgoings. Don't leave it till the end of the month, and have a good accountant that can advise you on what you can claim as expenses. So then it makes your tax payout a lot lower.
Amazing. That's really good advice, because I think as a creative, naturally, stylists don't think about stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't want to do numbers.
Yeah, and it's like you just want to do the hair, but if you're self-employed, you have to. Like, it's a part of the process. And financial management is obviously key. So, yeah, I hear that. Amazing. Well, it's been amazing having you. Thank you, Claire.
Oh, you're welcome. I could just sit here all day.
I know, me too. Me too. But yeah, we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.